Hey Glow Up Gang! It's another Big Beauty Tuesday in the Glow Up's Beauty Closet, where we floss, we gloss, and we boss. I'm Maisha, and you may notice that I'm doing all three today. I'm glossing, I'm flossing, and I'm bossing. And while you may think I'm a little overdressed for your average Tuesday, it is a Tuesday in the middle of Pride Month. I got my Pride earrings on, and I'm not gonna let a little quarantine cramp my style here. And apparently either is HBO Max, because they have brought us Legendary. If you haven't peeped it yet, it is a reality competition of ballroom culture. Pretty dope. Now, Naomi Maldonado, voguing legend, ballroom legend, says that ballroom is for everybody. But, you know, we would not be here if it was not for the communities that started ballroom. And I'm talking about your Black trans community, your Black gay community, and the LGBTQ community in general, which has both created and sustained ballroom culture to this day. And today we have a few guests with us, but one of them is the head of makeup for Legendary, a good friend of mine, Sonya Gunter, who also happens to be the talented hands behind some of Billy Porter's most iconic looks. So we're going to talk to Sonya and a few other friends about what Pride means and why it's so important that when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean all Black lives. Sonya, how are you?
Hi!
I'm so excited to have you because I don't know if you can tell from my makeup, but I have been watching a lot of Legendary.
Fantastic.
You know, fun fact for our Glow Up gang who's watching, Sonya Gunter and I have known each other. I think we were just saying we've known each other over a decade now. We have...
over a decade, yeah.
But we did not first meet as people in the beauty industry. We met on stage. Yeah. We were performing in our other lives as performers.
Yes.
So this woman can sing her face off. She can also,
sweet. So can you.
Thank y'all. And then, she can also, beat a face. So there you go.
Yes. I started at Kinky Boots. That's where I met Billy Porter, and the relationship between he and I was just, we had such amazing chemistry. In between that, I was doing different things here and there, but I started to venture out into TV, and I happened to get on Pose, and he got on Pose, and we did our thing, and he called me up, and he was like, so I'm going to the Met Gala, and I want this look, and I was like, okay, we can do that look, but I just want to tell you, when we do that look, it requires you not moving.
How long did you make him stay still?
3 hours.
Because he don't seem like he likes to stay still.
No, he don't like to stay still, and he wants to take it off. It's great, take it off.
But that look was iconic. I mean,
Yes,
coming in on the shoulders of the manservants, and the wings, the whole thing was amazing. And these gold, studded eyes. You did was that mostly Pat McGrath you did for that? We had Black-owned beauty involved there, right?
No, it was a little bit of a mixture.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Pat McGrath.
Okay.
It was a little bit of Pat McGrath, and we used rhinestones.
Yes.
Because I quoted something from Notes on Camp.
Yes.
One should either be a work of art or wear a work of art.
Yes.
And I thought, well, Billy is both. So it needs to be over the top. It just needs to be like shawam. That's the only way I can say it. And that's a ballroom term. That's like exclamation point,
Well, speaking of ballroom, you are also the department head on Legendary, which is now on HBO Max.
This particular show, it's a competition. It's competition ballroom, but it's current day ballroom, which is very different from ballroom that you and I know from '87. It's a competition for 8 houses. In each house there are 5 people. There's the parent, which could be the mother or the father, and then 4 other people in the house, which are the children. It's been the most amazing experience.
Obviously, ballroom culture really started with the LGBTQ community, right? And
yes,
we're sitting here as 2 cisgendered women talking about it. But I think,
yes,
one of the things that I love so much about ballroom culture is the transformative nature of it. I think it has given it personally, when I see it, I get inspired to play again with makeup. But I don't think we could talk about how amazing some of these looks and transformations are without talking about the genesis of ballroom culture, right? Talking about whether it's, or even drag culture, because sometimes you see a convergence between those two things. They're not the same thing at all, but
right, they're not. And I think that's where it sometimes the line gets a little gray.
Mm-hmm.
People have to have the distinction that drag is very different from someone who's transgender.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't speak as somebody who is a cisgendered woman,
mm-hmm.
but I can get some people who can help me out.
Let's do it.
So wait, so just so you know, I'm on location.
Okay.
To do that, I'm on location at DD Pro Studio. I'm gonna bring in the owners of DD.
I love it.
Studio.
I love it.
So that would be D and Deja.
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Yvonne.
How are you?
Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you. I was saying the other day that I think it's important that as we celebrate the higher visibility, we also make sure that we're celebrating, for instance, Black trans lives, which we know have been deeply endangered. And we can't have a conversation about ballroom without also talking about protecting these really precious members of our community.
Definitely. I would say it's really important that at this moment when the pandemic has brought all of us together as a global community, as well as we are dealing with the Black Lives Matter movement, and Black trans lives are equal to all Black lives. And if we don't embrace, celebrate, and uplift Black trans voices, the movement is going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's moot. Because we have already proven to the world that our lives really don't matter that much. And we learned over the years how important it is to embrace, uplift, amplify our own voices. And especially during Pride Month, we have to remember Pride started out as a riot.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was a moment when we had had enough. And trans women of color were the first to step up and say, we're not having it anymore.
That's right.
So we cannot forget that.
It has to be recognized.
Must be recognized.
Because, we talk a lot about allyship, right? As if that only goes one way, and as if that doesn't include those of us who have other kinds of privilege, whether it's cis privilege or whatever kind of privilege. I feel like it's really important to ask every member of our community, how can we be better allies to you?
I think it's really important that we also realize when it comes to allyship that when you want people in front and also behind the camera. It doesn't always just start in front, because it's, especially during Pride, which I've realized a lot in the last couple of years, it's always companies reaching out and want you to be in front, but then don't really care about who's behind. And I think it's really important that we're represented all the way across. We need to have a seat at the table as well, not just be oh, here's a pretty picture, that's it. You know what I mean? We really need to incorporate everybody all the way around.
The new media gaze around trans people is just, maybe a little bit romanticizing what it means to be trans and what it means to have trans people around. We are not vases, we're not sculptures, we're human beings like everybody else.
Exactly.
And so the beauty aspect is something that we enhance for our own identification, not for anybody else's. It's not a tool that should be used by companies, as Dee said earlier.
Right.
You have to be willing to drop the ego a bit and say, no, there's something missing here. We're talking about this, but we need to really step up to the challenge of elevating.
One of the things I loved, so Leomi Maldonado on Legendary said, ballroom is for everybody. But, I feel like that only works if it works both ways. So the Globe is for everybody, too. We are so happy to have y'all, all three of y'all, joining us today.
Thank you, seriously.
Thank you very much.